All right, if you look at Rotten Tomato right now, Sinners is like going crazy in the membrane, giving all fives. People are saying it's going to be a top 10, it's going to be an Oscar contender. Is that what I think? It's still too early in the season. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Sinners. So what's about pretty simple premise? You have two brothers, both played by Michael B. Jordan, and they move from Chicago back down from Mississippi because it's been 7-8 years to open a juke joint and have a grand opening. However, in this grand opening, vampires come. And people are like, you just spoiled the movie. It's vampires. No, you can tell from the trailer where he has blood on his mouth, the fingernails, the teeth. Come on now. I know y'all are smart. But we got to figure out who's going to die, who's going to survive in this 2-hour and 20-minute film. So like I said in the intro, critics are giving us 5 out of 5s, 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 and saying this is the best thing since sliced bread. I don't think so. I do think it's a solid movie experience, but to me there are a couple glaring flaws where it stops me from going, this is like a masterpiece. Masterpiece is very hard to come by nowadays. There hasn't really been masterpieces, in my opinion, for about 5-ish, 7, 10 years, honestly. Like, if I'm thinking right now, it's the last masterpiece I've seen, 7, and that's been quite some time. But anyway, so what I like about this movie, I think the overall atmosphere is fantastic. The way the movie looks, the way the movie is shot. Unfortunately, I didn't see it in one of these special IMAX screenings. If you watch the Ryan Coogler video, it's like a 12-minute thing where he explains how each movie theater is, the different types, the sound, and the look of it. Yes, that's fantastic. But unfortunately, for true IMAX experience, like a 1 and 4-3 or the really big boy film, it's maybe 17 film theaters worldwide. So it's very hard if you live in the Midwest to even get that. I think the closest Midwest is Indianapolis, which is kind of a very weird location when you think about other stuff like why not in Omaha, Kansas City, or things like that, like Salt Lake, Denver, but no, coastal elite mofos with that one. All right, so like I said, atmosphere is good. The music, people are going to love the music, saying the score is fantastic and everything like that. I do like the music a lot. I do think there are some moments where it does like overpower the story. I know this is a very music-heavy movie, like I said, but I do wish it did slow it down or pause on some level so I could just get a grasp of what some people are saying as well as other elements to it. All right, sound, talk about it, check. CGI, pretty good. Yes, there is some CGI blood in here and there, but it's not overly barren. Yes, there's some CGI cotton fields and things like that, but most of this is shot in Louisiana, not Mississippi. Acting, Michael B. Jordan, I think does a good job. Stanley Hinesfield, and other people as well. I'm probably saying her name wrong, and someone's going to complain at me in the comments. Sorry, I suck sometimes. Period. End of subject. Okay, when the action comes, it's pretty damn fun. It's good, and it's very interesting. And that's what I'm saying when it comes. Like I said, it's a 2-hour and 20-minute film, and there's a lot of build-up in this movie. A lot of build-up because there are a lot of characters. The twins, ex-lovers, ex-girlfriends, neighbors, older folk, cousins, and things like that, affairs and things like that. And the movie is called Sinners for a reason because everyone in this movie is a sinner. Yes, there might be more sins for other people, absolutely, but everyone is a sinner, and it does have that underlining message for that reason. Okay, other things that I just thought were just very much intriguingly interesting in this movie, the middle era music. That's all I'm going to say, but that kind of took me out of the film. And I was just like, I actually don't know why they did that. Because this whole point of this film is, the whole thing is like conjuring spirits from the past, present, and future. But did it really have to, like, do that? I know you're trying to celebrate, I'm going to guess, culture, and like American culture when it comes to that. Because African culture and American black culture is completely different. Completely freaking different. So I understand what they're trying to do there. But I don't know if this is the right setting for it. Also, there's a post-credit scene at the end, which also you're like, okay, interesting how they wanted to intertwine these different stories. It almost felt like The Brutalist or other movies where it's like kind of comes out of left field, but it wasn't all like jarringly bad like as like The Brutalist was going to do. So the era music piece did kind of do weird, and there's a character choice that is done but kind of manipulatively because there is something to deal with a daughter. And when that happens, it kind of just like, I understand why you do it because you want to start this battle somehow. But I felt like it could have just done a little bit better because I feel like this girl is smart. And yes, she's very emotional at this time. But at the same time, I just don't think she would have done that. And I'm just like, is that really a reason to do it? So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way as well. And leading up to the third act, like I said, I like the build-up. I like to get some of these characters. But the third act was kind of quick and overdone. And I'll say the third act is like in two parts. There's quote-unquote two bad guys in this movie, and it switches back and forth, back and forth. And you're like, okay, it's kind of interesting how you want to do it that way and how you want to end the movie because there is a good, subtle, I want to say death, but something that happens that is shown like in the middle of the movie about a small gravesite. That's all I'm going to say. I do think how it ends that way is nice and effective. All right, so Jack O'Connor, I believe, is the main vampire. If you're asking where does this vampire come from, does it come from the music? Because in the trailer, it's like the music summons spirits and things like that from other parts, and how there's a Native American, there's a European one and an African one. No, you're not going to get that. And I was expecting that. And how this vampire comes to fruition is basically Native Americans are trying to find him. And I don't know if that really worked for me. I wanted, if you're going to make a 2-hour and 20-minute film, I kind of want more information on some characters, especially with this Irish, vampire. And there's also something that happens with him in the dance scene. I don't know. There were some things where I was so intrigued with this movie, and then there's a sharp decline for me where I'm like, what are we doing here? Then we'd go back up, now I'd have fun. Then another kind of sharp decline. I'm like, what are we doing? But then it would put me back up here, and I would go. Then sharp decline. So it was never like me hating or loving it, or like even hating this movie in general. But there was just some things in this movie where I'm like, I don't know if I agree with the choices they wanted to make or not. And that's just my personal opinion. It's not my movie. I didn't write it, produce it, direct it. So who am I? I'm just a random ass dude with a bunch of movies bitching on YouTube. And, I'm not a critic. I'm just a random dude talking about movies. So overall, Sinners. I really did like this movie. However, there were like 3 moments where I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And while that's happening, it's not like it's not competently unmade, where I'm like, oh, that's bad because of bad acting. No, it's just not even a character choice or a directorial choice. It's just like, maybe, I don't know. It's something that wanted to do something different and fun, but I don't know if it connected with me on that level. Some musical choices were a little bit overblown. Like, yes, I understand you want to show people's talents in this movie and show a lot of dance sequences or a lot of singing or a lot of talent. But at a point, when you do one after the other, it kind of takes me out of the film. And yeah, Sinners is a really, really, really good movie. But to me, it's not a 5 out of 5, like a lot of critics are saying. So Sinners will receive a 4 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 80%. So see, the critics' news scores gave this one. Critics rated 99% with 101. No audience score. Critic consensus. A rip-roaring fusion of masterful visual storytelling and toe-tapping music. Director Ryan Coogler's first original blockbuster reveals the full scope of a singular imagination. God, why was I tongue-tied? I was so bad with that one. So anyway, 99.80. Chase Hiker with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Well, no thanks, Bhutontopia. You Blue Tony. Thank you for watching. A great day. I'm going to watch this tape tomorrow. Week from a month and year from now. Every single freaking one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And are you a sinner? If you say no, you're a liar.